We're here.
I wish I could give you this feeling. I wish I could give you this feeling. On the corner.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Corner Podcast. Kel Dansby here with producer Coale, baby. As you can tell, the old man's not here today. He is enjoying a lovely week off. We saw him not too long ago, though. Still popped in.
It's good, though, because that man has, you can't count the jobs on two hands. Can't do it. So he needs a break. Well earned.
Yes. So he was chilling. He brought the young one into the studio for a second. The man lies on his children. That baby never cries. Happiest baby on earth.
Let me tell you, I can't confirm nor deny if the baby was in character or not. But came into the studio, lights, cameras, I don't know. That baby was smiling.
I'm telling you, that baby never cries.
So either Dre is lying to us, or we have a future promo dropper in the WWE.
It's a work. Dre's working us.
Oh,
that baby
man.
never cries.
It is
That's
all
it.
kinds of drama here.
Yes, he's
on the Corner Podcast.
He's playing a sleepless dad gimmick.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, but in actuality,
Yeah.
the man is well rested because the baby never cries.
Kayfabe.
So it is. Kayfabe's still alive.
Kayfabe getting plenty of sleep.
So shout out to Dre, enjoying family time this week. So in his absence, we're shaking stuff up just a little bit. We're doing boxing and MMA today. Same show, right off the top, getting right into it. Another great UFC interview to end the show today. And then on Friday, we'll have an entire music show. I'm inviting some of my friends, fellow podcasters from here in Vegas to join me. So that'll be interesting. Always interesting.
All I can tell you is that you're going to have to watch out for hot takes. Because not only is the human hot take machine in here, but there's been some takes that have happened from these guests before.
Return of the take. Take two?
I'm going to try to police it as best I can in the control room, but I make no guarantees, audience. I make no guarantees.
Yes. That's what it's going to be titled. Take two.
Take two. Oh, my goodness gracious.
And the two's going to be on fire. That's all we need. So Friday's show is going to be great as well. And then, like we mentioned to end last week's show, pro wrestling, instead of dropping it on Sunday morning, we are going to hold off, record it Sunday night after we watch the pay-per-view, Forbidden Door.
Which is a good thing, because if we try to do a preview show for it, there's still
three
matches that need to be announced. So, I think we're better off just doing a little recap show afterwards.
Yep.
But it'll be a great time. I have no doubts in my mind that it will be a very enjoyable show. There will definitely be some serious pro wrestling happening on that show.
Hands down.
The work is going to be amazing.
Top notch.
What it exactly is going to be, as we record this, it's Tuesday. I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be, because I think they still need more matches.
Yeah. I wonder if they do the usual, oh my God, we're doing a debut. And I wonder how the pacing is.
Well, and there's
a
there's a
real
women's
pay-per-view?
title match on there that is just strictly AEW.
Yeah.
So, are
New
there
Japan.
more AEW matches to be thrown in there? I don't know.
Could be. So we'll see. That's going to be fun, recapping all of that. Cole, we got to start with boxing today, though.
People punching people in the face.
Gotta love it. Before we get into the big fight from last weekend, Artur Beterbiev versus Joe Smith Jr., which this intro took longer than the fight. Spoiler alert. Other things being announced, especially today before we came in here. Canelo Triple G3, right here in Vegas. September 17th. I was worried for a second.
It's just not a Canelo fight if it's not here in Vegas.
I thought they were going to do it in Dallas.
Ooh, okay.
But thankfully for the NFL, thank you, Jerry Jones, for having a team.
Jerry World couldn't host it.
No. So
Jerry World's busy.
Back here in Vegas that weekend, I wonder how much of the luster is off of Canelo. I mean, we've seen him lose before, but that was Mayweather. So people were like, yeah, it's Mayweather. Now, back-to-back fights, I'm wondering, is the fan base as rabid? Or if it was back-to-back, say he was rematching Bivol right now, I think it'd be different. So the fact that contractually he still had to fight Golovkin because they had signed that already, it's just like it's a fight people thought he lost before. Some people thought he lost twice, like Dre. And it's one of those where it's like Golovkin's 40. Not that that means anything necessarily. Like, he's a freak of nature and he hasn't fought a ton. So it's not like he put on miles the past couple of years. So he just came off of a huge win, unifying the belts at 160, making his 168 debut. People are just kind of like chalking it up like, Canelo stay ready fight. The Bivol fights after. And I don't know. I don't feel the buzz.
I mean, I don't think the buzz is not going to be here yet. I think ultimately when push comes to shove, once you get closer to the fight and you start getting more of the press and you start, you do the weigh-ins, you do the whole build up to it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Canelo versus Bivol, who's selling that fight? Canelo, right? Yep. No one, and still Bivol won that fight. And is Bivol like a household name off of it? I don't think so. No,
I don't think so either.
He really, he didn't gain, it would be one thing if, he knocked Canelo out. It almost seems like that's what you have to do. But it was just kind of the way that he won that fight, it was just like, oh, yeah, you're just big and can take Canelo's punch, and you punch quite a bit back. So, at the end of the day, once we get to closer to fight week and the press starts warming up to it, at the end of the day, on a pay-per-view ballot, Triple G is a name. Canelo Alvarez is a name.
Still a draw, yeah.
The two are inevitably their draws in their own right, and this being a trilogy, and I don't even think it's really going to matter which way it would have gone, whether this was, Triple G going for 3 or we're trying to split the series. These two just draw so much on their own that by the time we get towards fight week, I think the buzz will be there. I think if Canelo was fighting somebody else, I think if this was someone in the Caleb Plant range, I think the idea that the luster would be off, I think would definitely apply, just because, Canelo had spent so much time just cleaning house.
Yeah.
And you're done in by your own expectations. Everyone's just expecting him to just clean house because that's what he did for and especially this past year.
Yeah, people don't realize it's hard being a 2-division.
It's really
undisputed
hard.
Champion, to the point of no one's done it outside of Clarissa Shields.
Exactly. And I think people, I think even after the Bivol fight, I think people made it abundantly clear that okay, Canelo went for something. He didn't lose in his backyard, right? It wasn't like he had the belts and he lost belts or anything like that. He was going after something he hadn't gone after before. And I think that carries enough weight to go okay, Canelo tried something and it didn't work. But now he's back in his wheelhouse.
Yeah. Kind of like when Adesanya lost.
Correct.
That's
a perfect example.
Yeah. Came back down and was like, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Don't get any ideas.
Wait, hold on a second. I still run this. Exactly.
No, so that's 100% makes sense. Even though I do want to see Izzy try that again.
Oh, I think he's still running out of people. That's so he's got to anyway.
Yeah, we're about to see him in Vegas in a couple of weeks.
Indeed.
Besides the Canelo announcement, we also had Jake Paul in the midst of that, New York. Now we have Nate Diaz saying he wants to fight Jake Paul, telling Dana to let him out the deal like he has business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. And you're talking about a draw. Nate's a draw.
Of course he is.
But I think Nate might lose to Jake. And Nate could box. He sparred real deal boxers. He would spar Andre Ward and all this stuff. But that was a younger Nate. A more active Nate. Probably less high. I mean, weed is legal now, so he's probably more high. So it's one of those things. And Nate, for whatever he is, he's fighting 155, 170. Jake's a big boy.
Jake is a big boy. And at that point, it becomes how seriously would Nate take that, right? How is he gonna walk in there with that expectation of this is
walk in there for that paycheck?
This is I mean, there's been plenty who seem to have gone in there, and it's paycheck city.
Yep.
And that's ultimately what he wants to do it for. He doesn't. I don't think for him, he wouldn't care if he won or lost. I don't think that's going to do anything for him. I think there's going to definitely be a very heavy contingent hoping he wins and kicks the shit out of Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, everyone sees what people are making money off of these Jake Paul fights. Even just being on the card gets you notoriety. So
I wonder if he could Stockton slap someone with boxing gloves.
You know what? He might try.
Yeah, I think he would.
Yeah, you know, I think. I mean, no matter. Of course. Like, I think if you're any type of fighter in any of the sports, you're looking for the payday. Say what you will about Woodley and what happened to him and how he went face first into the mat, became a meme at the very end of the year.
Yeah, damn shame. Now he's on AEW.
And now he's on AEW with War. I'm confused.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be there. Point being, does that matter to him in the long run? No, he got a paycheck. He's okay.
Yep,
he's all right.
Got paid in those two.
Actually,
fights.
he got to do it twice.
Yeah, got paid in those 2 fights more than he got paid as UFC champion.
And say what you will about Jake Paul, but there is a seriousness that Jake Paul takes this seriously.
Yeah,
he trains his ass off. Like, he is, whether you believe he has the ability or not, he trains like he believes he has the ability.
Going 8 rounds in a fight is not easy.
No.
Like that, after 2 rounds, the normal human being is just flat out gassed.
Yeah. And again, it's not like Tyrone stuck his head out there and went, hey, hit me. No. Like, Jake Paul timed up a shot, loaded up, and cracked him.
Yep.
Like, he has power. Yeah. Like, it is legit, and he takes it seriously. And that's the thing, I think, when people step into that arena with him, think, oh, this is a show. It is, because it's Jake Paul, and he knows it, and he knows how to sell like a wrestler, but he knows that he's got to win to keep this going. So, but is it Nate? Is it Tommy?
It's not Nate. Because obviously he can't get out of it.
He's got to get out of it. And Dana's like, I've let too many people go get the bag.
Yeah. Unless, no, I don't see Jake cutting Dana in on anything.
Of course, no. He is not going to go. He's not going to. Yeah, this doesn't like require some kind of peace talk. It's going to be, well, I'm either fighting him or I'm not.
Yeah. This one has to be Tommy.
Has to be.
I mean, Anderson Silva's a dangerous fight.
I mean, and you guys have talked about it too on the previous shows. Like, Jake Paul, stay away from Anderson Silva.
I don't care if that man's 50. Please.
That man is just, he knows how to do one thing really well, and that's kick people's asses.
Yep.
Like, that guy he's just certified.
Might fuck around and embarrass Jake Paul. So, yeah, don't do that. I do like the idea of the KSI fight.
Yeah.
But not in New York.
No.
Like Dre meant, like that's a good like UK fight, like Jake Paul's UK debut. Yeah, I think it has to be Tommy. It's Tommy or nothing. And then Big John Fury came out and was like, we want nothing to do with this fight. Blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, so you want a little bit more money.
Like, yeah, and even then it's like I think there's still like this kind of cloud over it where like if he beats Tommy, there's some kind of legitimacy to
you beat a real boxer,
to Jake Paul beating him, no matter what that says about Tommy's career or not.
Yep.
That seems to be irrelevant in this whole thing because people are just focused on the fact that, well, he is a boxer.
Yeah,
which is so weird because like I feel like there's plenty other people who could pose bigger threat, like Anderson Silva, not a boxer. Would he get more credibility from beating an Anderson Silva than a Tommy Fury in
I
his
think at
sport?
this point he's beating too many MMA guys.
Right.
Another like problem with Nate. It's just like you got to sprinkle someone who's a boxer in there.
Yeah, I think the conversations. Yeah, the conversation gets interesting with all of this talk of like, is he legit or is he not? And it just seems like everyone has a very specific rule set, but it really doesn't matter the skill level. It's just the fact that Tommy Fury boxes and he has the last name Fury, and that's all the boxes he needs to check.
That's it.
Because we've seen Tommy Fury recently.
Yep. I mean, when he was facing people with worse records, he had some knockout power.
Right.
We have not seen that knockout power lately.
Right.
If you don't got knockout power against Jake, you're in for a long night.
And what's the size discrepancy there? Is Jake
Same size,
is same size? Okay.
205.
205.
They would be cruiserweights.
Yeah.
But I think Jake's been fighting at like catch weights of like 198 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he like drains Tommy a little bit more. But he's a big dude.
Yeah.
But I think the London fight, Tommy went down to 198, like catch weight. And I think it was just one of those like, yeah, I can make it. So he looked good on the scale, performed okay, I guess.
Nothing inspiring.
No. Jake shouldn't be scared.
No.
I hope their bet still stands where you got to change his name to Tommy Fumbles.
I forgot about that.
That was the best part of the
Tommy Fumbles.
Tommy Fumbles.
Yeah.
Instead of Tommy Fury.
It's
Gonna rob him of his last name. He's gonna take the only
Tommy
thing
Fumbles.
that matters.
Golly.
Yeah, that's all bad. But it'll do crazy numbers.
Absolutely. Does Jake open as the betting favorite in that fight?
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
Jake is probably like plus 450 in that.
Which, considering where Jake Paul was,
Or excuse me, minus.
where Jake Paul was a year ago,
Yeah.
to be talking about him going up against a boxer regardless of skill level, that says a lot about where Jake's gone.
Yeah, he's not bad.
No.
I'm not sure how good he is, but he's not bad.
And
I think he's proven that.
And he's proven that if you make a mistake,
Oh,
he
yeah.
can
It's night-night.
capitalize,
Yeah.
and it's night-night, indeed.
He got knockout power.
He does have the power.
Oh, my God. Everyone's ended up in me.
It's true.
Every
It's-
single person.
and it's just like with each passing fight, people are starting to take him more seriously. I think that
Oh,
definitely says a lot that he would open up as a betting favorite against a boxer.
Yep. And then real boxers.
Ah, yes.
Andrew Ruiz, Luis Ortiz. Final for September 4th, Sunday. Pay-per-view.
Mm.
This is the case of when you ask, like, what is Bivol now, right? And then it's just like, does he have star power? Does he have star power? He was a guy who fought in the very first DAZN pay-per-view ever and won it. Do you tell that guy he's not fighting on pay-per-view anymore? Same thing with Andy Ruiz. It's just like he beat Anthony Joshua on pay-per-view. Now Showtime's kind of stuck just giving him pay-per-views.
Right.
Because it's just like, well, I made this. I won. I made this to the rematch. I'm not taking, an 80% pay cut to fight on TV. So we got to figure this out. Like, you got to pay me this amount. The only way to get that amount is by putting them on pay-per-view. I'm not sure how many people buy this pay-per-view.
No, I mean, and it's been how long has it been since Ruiz knocked out Joshua?
It's 4 years now.
It
Yeah.
feels like longer.
It does feel like
Feels like it's been a long time,
Eternity.
and maybe it's because when's the last time the Ruiz fought too? Just
beat
any-
Chris Areola in the spring,
yeah.
and he came and he looked better and his body was in shape. Maybe it wasn't the spring. It might have been end of last year. He was with Reynoso.
Right.
Now he's left Reynoso.
Right.
So now he's with a new trainer again. It's a lot.
But you talk about, sometimes you make a moment for yourself and you raise the floor. Like now it truly is a case of, well, he's not going to take anything less than that. He's going to consider himself a draw, whether he is a draw or not, because of what he did to Anthony Joshua. So
Just a Sunday. The Sunday pay-per-views flop.
Sunday pay-per-views is tough.
Like, they tried that with Tank. It didn't do great.
And this is
numbers.
September 4th?
4th, the week before.
Week before NFL.
NFL
Okay.
kickoff. So the last week of the
Ooh. That's
preseason.
close. Well,
No starters are
they
playing.
don't.
in those games.
I don't think they play that last week of the preseason, right? Don't they take an extra week off now?
Do they?
Can't remember. I think the preseason's only 3 games now,
Oh, okay.
something like that.
Well, that'd be good.
I don't know. I'm not up to date on my NFL collective bargaining agreement. But either way, like, that's close to NFL season. Literally, the first NFL game would be on the Thursday of that week.
Yeah.
Um,
So, I mean, if you're gonna squeeze in a Sunday pay-per-view,
this is
your last
This is your last chance because
This
it
is
ain't happening anymore after this.
no. So
Because once the Shield comes in, it's over.
domination.
It's over. The NFL runs.
It's cool. You got to come to the crib, watch the NFL games on the 5 TVs.
I mean, I tell you what. As long as Red Zone's on one of those TVs, we're good.
Always on the big screen.
All right.
Oh,
I'm in.
I'm a red zone guy.
Oh, I mean, that's the only way I can watch football anymore. So.
Yeah.
Although
ruined it.
now my team's good, so now I'm actually going to be very vested interest in each game.
You think they're good?
I mean, we have Russell Wilson.
I think they're good.
We're pretty legit.
That division is stacked.
We were a 500 team without Russell Wilson, without a quarterback. So I think it's looking up for. It'll be fun games. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Are you going to the game here?
There is another game here. Yeah, I didn't go the first time. I'll have to think about it.
Might have to make this a field trip.
NFL tickets are expensive.
Are they?
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just what the Shield can charge you. Go to game. And also, I'm not a big fan of the NFL atmospheric games. I don't like it as much. I like the college atmospheres way better.
Oh, that's
Because there's like a pageantry to it.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool. And I'm biased because, I watch Big Ten football and there's a bunch of big ass stadiums and they're all crazy. So
I mean, your team has a whiteout and
it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's
like
pretty cool to look at.
80,000 rocket.
That stadium is pretty cool, and it's like you just go right down the street, go grab ice cream right after the game. I mean, it's cool. Like you don't do that.
Is there
with
a famous ice cream place?
There is, yeah. The creamery is right there. It's great.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I've never been to Penn State. My godmother
it is a
graduated from there.
It's a big campus, little town around it, and that's it. It truly is in all matters of the word a college town, 100%.
Happy Valley.
Yeah, it's I can't remember.
everyone works
I
on
cannot
campus.
remember the last time I've been back there, and now it's starting to get up to be a long time because time is going by and I'm getting older. So
Never.
I need to go back at some point and go
Last time you went, you probably had short hair.
Yes, and probably no beard. So yeah, because the beard didn't happen until after college. So
Oh, really?
yeah, the beard was nothing to bet with until later in life, and then it brought me to this moment, and
Listen,
now,
when I started
now
the
have
show, I
bear
didn't
cares.
have a beard.
That's true.
Yeah.
We were talking about that
Yes.
before.
Yes. Andre's being a beard snob.
Yeah, well, I mean,
still doesn't consider my beard a
that
beard.
beard is pretty glorious. It's tough competition.
It is. I don't want to grow out the grays anyway. He can.
There you go.
Yeah, he can keep that part of the gimmick.
Exactly.
I just want my cheeks to look good. They're covered. It's a beard.
Yeah.
You see these guys?
Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
It's taken a while to grow that.
Yeah. You can hear it on the microphone too. So
See, look
so
at that.
If,
It's there.
if it's making noise,
It's there. It counts as a beard.
100%.
Let's talk about last weekend's fights. Saturday,
Yeah.
Joe Smith Jr., Artur Beterbiev. Also, Robesi Ramirez is the real deal in the co-main. Abraham Nova had no shot.
I mean, the beard looked good.
They did. That's a beard.
Yeah. I immediately was looking at it and I was like, oh, he thinks he's something.
Yeah.
And then bop.
They didn't protect him.
Bop. Night.
Oh, Robesi is just, now that I watch him fight, and yeah, his debut wasn't great, and he's changed trainers, and this camp seems to really work for him after that, debut. But people really don't give enough credit, because we see it in baseball, so it kind of normalizes us, to what it must be like to have to defect and then become a professional.
Yeah.
And it's just you leave your whole family behind.
Right.
You don't go straight to the U.S. All of these guys defect to God knows where in Mexico or a different country. I think somebody went to Sweden. You got to defect somewhere else, wait for papers, and then come to the U.S. So it's one of those things where it's just he probably wasn't all there and ready for that debut. And it was just, okay, so he took a mulligan. You don't got to worry about the undefeated pressure and all this stuff. A lot like when Loma lost his second fight. I was just all right, whatever. His third fight was a title fight, and he didn't look back until, the Teofimo fight.
Yeah.
But it's that same thing where it's just yeah, I think Robesi's in that same class. You watch him fight and be like, I can see why this person beat Shakur Stevenson.
Right.
It's yes, he was that good. Not many people can say they've beaten Shakur Stevenson at anything. even though I plan on handing him a swift L in Call of Duty. But
You're ready.
yes, whatever, he's ready. But no, yeah, I mean, it's just Robesi's talent is amazing. I think he should get a title fight at 126 next, and we'll see. I mean, if Navarrete is really trying to go up and fight Shakur, then that's cool. But if he stays at 126, then yeah, Robesi has to be.
I think of an interesting analysis. We obviously Blue Wire Studio here. We are home to many podcasts, and we had Sean Porter in here on last Sunday, and he was mentioning the fact that he thought that Robesi would kind of come out and try to kind of play around the edges, and kind of
Traditional Cuban style.
Yeah, and he was surprised to watch Robesi just walk him down. He just was like, "Nope, I'm here, and you're about to get crushed in the face."
Yeah.
And it seemed to be the theme of the night was people feeling people's power and going, "Uh-oh."
This
And
ain't lasting long.
uh-oh. And and he just went right at him. And I mean, that knockout was brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, right smack dab in the middle of the face.
Just impressive, to say the least.
Impressive, for sure.
Then the main event.
Oh, boy.
Artur Beterbiev.
The common man
Common man. Joe
became
Smith
the
Jr.
common man.
Artur Beterbiev hit him with a jab to start. Joe Smith was like, all right. Threw another jab. He slipped the jab. Joe Smith is like, oh, feeling confident. It's about like 5 seconds into the fight. Artur Beterbiev then throws a right hook that lands. And Joe Smith goes, uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What have I gotten
Yes.
myself into?
This is everything that they said it was. Like, it's one of those where you can see his eyes open, and he was just like, oh, shit. Now what? And his quote today was like, oh, yeah, I just lost focus from my game plan. Sir, there's no game plan. There's no preparation for when someone hits like that.
I got hit by the punch, and I said, ow.
Yeah.
Was the game plan.
I thought it was going to be under 6 rounds. I thought it stopped like in the
I think
sixth.
I think you both picked under 6. If I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
I thought it would, start the 6th. Like, it's ended around 6. 2 rounds, 4 knockdowns is wild.
And I mean, this is a champ that he did this to. It's a guy and he's defended it.
Yes, several times.
Like he
Guy beat Bernard Hopkins.
he made this quick work.
It didn't even look like they belonged in the same room.
No. And it was like and now it's like, the talk of, obviously the Bivol fight went the way that it went. Could you imagine Beterbiev's power in there with Canelo?
Ugh. To me, the whole time when I thought Canelo would beat Bivol and then come and fight Beterbiev on ESPN, which I still think is going to happen.
Very possible.
I looked at it and I was like, he's just a bigger Triple G. That's not going to be good for Canelo.
No.
like I thought he lost to a smaller Triple G. So like Triple G was hitting him and they're going toe to toe and hitting him with clean punches. Like they fought at 160.
Those hands are rocks.
This guy's grown.
Yeah. And I mean, even I believe it was his last fight too that he got he had the
Cut.
He
Yeah.
had the cut above his head and like he couldn't see and he literally looked like he dropped off the set of 300 or something.
Yep.
And he
Didn't
went in
matter.
there and I think that fight still went only like 7 or 8 rounds, something like that.
As soon as the cut opened, he was like, oh, okay, it's business.
Oh, okay, I got to kill this guy before they call this fight off.
Yep.
Like nothing stops this guy and then he gets in the ring with a champion and makes quick work.
100% KO rate.
It's unbelievable.
And
This guy's a machine.
unify the divisions. Now he has 3 belts. Bivol has another one. I think they don't fight, or he doesn't fight Bivol or Canelo until next, like September.
No.
But it looks like Anthony Yard is the next fight. Bob Arum wants to do it in the UK. It's funny because he like trash talked DAZN. He's like, we're not fighting on DAZN. Like, so I was like, yeah, no, I wouldn't expect that. I think Bob is waiting to see what Canelo does. And if he can beat Bivol next May and take those belts, then Bob would tell Canelo, yeah, come over. Let's have a scrap.
Yeah.
If Bivol beats Canelo again, then it's just like, yeah. Well,
Bivol and Beterbiev at that point.
yeah. And then you got to see if Eddie Hearn's willing to play ball and, have his fighter fight on ESPN, which may or may not happen. So it's one of those where, I mean, at least we know Beterbiev has options, right? Like in the amateurs, he competed at heavyweight. So 175, he can go up to cruiserweight and do damage with that power. And the man's 38, so he can't sit around waiting. But it's going to be interesting to see him, Anthony Yard in London should be a great fight. And then next spring, maybe he takes out another mandatory and then waits.
He's definitely in sit and wait mode.
That's it. If it's
People-
Canelo, then
people come
next
get me.
September. Yep. Next September, we know a Canelo fight will go down.
And after
So
watching that fight, I'm not exactly, if I'm in that weight class, I'm not exactly eager to take that fight.
No, God. No.
Not exactly looking forward to Beterbiev's fists hitting my face.
At all.
Oh, he's knocked out. Let me see here. Oh, he's knocked out everybody? Oh, no, it's everybody. It's everybody.
Nobody goes the distance with
no.
that man. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be cool to see him fight in London. I think, that's power travels, right? So that's a show you take on the road. Build his star power and wait for whoever comes out of the other one. Because the last thing you can do is just sit there and do nothing.
Well, you got to fight.
Got to let the man fight. And the knockouts speak for themselves. So
Keep the KO rate up.
that's it. That's all you need. Keep adding knockouts to that, and he'll be just fine. We'll be just fine as well, because we're going to hit a break, come back, talk MMA.
Ooh.
And then we have a guest to close the show. So it is going to be fun. You guys don't go anywhere. Be right back after this. What up, everybody? Quick break. We are back. Time to talk MMA. Good card last weekend. Thought it was going to be. First thing that jumps off the page, man, it feels good for the UFC to take some of these non-pay-per-views back on the road.
Absolutely.
And in your stomping grounds.
In Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas.
So.
My adopted home, I suppose.
Yes. Oh, right. Quick, putting you on the spot.
Oh.
Top 3 places to eat in Austin.
Ooh. For me?
Top 3 places to eat in Austin.
I mean, I'm not gonna pick any like the trendy spots in like downtown. I'm gonna pick one on South Congress. Guero's is where you go for Tex-Mex.
Okay.
If you're on South Congress.
Do they do the breakfast taco?
I haven't actually been there for breakfast, but their food is just really good. Guero's is just, it's prime, and it's on South Congress, which is my favorite part of Austin. Because it's a little off downtown. It's got a cool view of the Capitol. It's very cool. There's a place kind of it is very far south Austin before Dripping Springs, which is where my family lives. Called, I believe the place is called The Shore, and they actually bring in they'll bring in oysters from the East Coast.
Oh wow.
So you get some oysters in the middle of Texas, which is pretty cool. And like they freeze them and like bring them, so it's like they are right out of the sea. So highly recommend The Shore. Pretty much anytime like I go home, like that's the spot that we hit, because it's like 15 minutes away from my parents' house. So
Remember the seafood guy?
I love seafood. Oh my god, yeah.
Oh,
I spent all those summers in Rhode Island and in Massachusetts. So yeah, big time seafood. Love seafood. Which of course now I live in the middle of a desert. Third, I'll cheat a little bit. I'm not gonna pick necessarily a restaurant, but P. Terry's, the burger's fast food joint. Don't go to Whataburger. Go get P. Terry's.
P. Terry's good, because Whataburger was horrible.
Yeah, P. Terry's good. Also, oh god, what's the Torchy's tacos? Also very good out there. But you can also get better tacos in any taco truck out there. Taco truck tacos in Austin.
Legit.
Whew, that's good. A lot of good food in Austin, Texas. 100%.
Listen, I loved Austin. I don't like Dallas too much.
No, Dallas
Dallas
is, Dallas is, I mean, it feels like a big city, you
Yeah.
ever get that like vibe? It's kind of like Pittsburgh for me.
Yeah.
Too. Like having driven through Pittsburgh, and also, if there's things I can recommend in life that you do not do, and I'm sorry to any listeners who live out there, but driving through Pittsburgh is one of the worst experiences of my life. Because it's just like, it's all high. It's like highways that all like overlap. So like you could be driving on a highway and there's a highway under you going a different direction, and there's a highway above you going a different direction. It makes no sense. I don't get it. Thank God for Google Maps. But no, Austin's got like, I mean, there are like cool, trendy spots to go in Austin, and
it's like super hipster,
and there's music everywhere. So, you know, I mean, there's definitely been a big influx of people who moved to Austin, which is definitely like that's how any like the cool cities they get, because Austin for a long time was the place to go move, and
it's like techie, right?
Yeah, a lot of tech startups started moving there. Like that because like people are like, ooh, no state tax. Oh, and I get to do my cool, and it's warm, awesome. So yeah, it became the cool place to live, and anytime a place becomes the cool place to live after a few years, it's a lot. There's a lot of people, and it gets a little crowded, and the city goes, whoa, I was not ready for all these people.
Yeah,
and Austin is a major city. But like this happens, it happened in Boulder as well, Boulder, Colorado, where I grew up. It definitely happened there, where it's just a lot of people come in, and then it's like this town ain't big enough for all of us, and then it's like traffic on all these roads is just horrible. But Austin still has some of that charm still, and the live music. It's really all about the live music in Austin. 6th Street is a cool experience when it's safe to do so, where you can walk down the street and pick any music you like. Someone's playing it, and someone's playing it live. So literally, you just walk down the street and go, okay, I hear the EDM dance music over here. I hear the blues guitar over here, and they're all like kind of like competing with each other. So you can go find what you want to listen to, which is very cool.
Got to hang out with you in Austin one day.
Yeah, it's that'll be a trip. That'll be a trip. I have not really gone because my family moved there while I was still in college. So I left, I got out of college and I didn't really know anybody down there. So like I've not like done like the, go to Austin, like woo party, like, but like I've done enough of like the experiences to get a little taste of like what are like the cool things to do. So like 6th Street is definitely the walk. It's a little, with all the people there now, it's a little more dangerous than it used to be, but, it's, that South Congress is super cool. Get some cowboy boots, get some cowboy hat, do Texas right.
Yes. Got to hit up my guy, Mark Henry, too.
Yeah. There you go.
I can't believe you didn't pick any barbecue places.
Oh, there's some really good barbecue. Oh, no. Now that I think about it. I did forget one. The Salt Lick barbecue. Best ribs ever. Oh, so good. And it's just
Few things are better than like amazingly cooked.
We were also very lucky to, and I apologize. We will get to MMA. But we're talking about, it was in Austin, so it's all relevant. But we had a friend, a family friend in Austin that was like, he did like cooking competitions, and he had like in his backyard like the legit like smoker set up. Like, I mean, we're talking like a grill the size of this desk here, which if you're watching on YouTube, which by the way, watch on YouTube, it's huge.
Yeah.
Huge, massive grill. And like we would go over to his place and he would have been like, smoking brisket for the whole day. So we were also a little spoiled by some local home cooking.
Yeah.
In the area. But Salt Lick, very good. Actually, you can order Salt Lick online.
Really?
Yes, and they'll like they'll make their ribs, they'll make sausage, they'll make pulled pork, any of that, and they'll freeze it. And then all you got to do is you receive the order, and then you just kind of reheat it. And I mean, obviously, like, is it the same as getting it right at the restaurant? Nothing is. But it's pretty dang good. It's pretty dang close.
Listen, I might have to order some of that.
It's definitely,
now I'm hungry.
It can definitely be, and like, I like salty food. It's a little salty, but damn.
Salt Lick.
But Salt Lick is so good.
They season their food.
they do. Heavily seasoned. Yes, indeed.
I appreciate
100%.
Somebody who can season their food.
Yeah. So yeah, no, Salt Lick barbecue, primo.
No, that's the way to go. All right, let's talk about actual fights that happen.
Wait, they punched people in the face out there in Austin?
So they say. One person didn't get to punch anyone in the face.
That's true.
Cowboy Cerrone.
Cowboy Cerrone didn't get to punch people. But you know what? He did get to show up in a cowboy hat.
He did.
And his kids also got to show up in a cowboy hat.
I appreciate cowboys dressing their kids as little cowboys. Like, I feel like that's something that's like not obnoxious. Like,
I guess you gotta start. I mean, if your name is Cowboy,
gotta lean all the way in.
You've got to go to the gimmick. Like the gimmick has to. Your whole family is cowboys now,
and
your grandma better be wearing a cowboy hat. Like everybody,
and he has like the nicest grandma. So Cerrone Lozon canceled again, day of the fight. Joe just said his right leg like just wouldn't move. So it's just like, well, so hopefully Joe, heals up and everything. Cowboy wants to run it back. Dana said he's never booking this fight again, but let's be real. Dana says stuff the night of fights out of emotion. So if Cowboy wants it, that fight will happen. He's looking to fight within the next month because he's a madman. So I'm sure they'll give him a different opponent.
I mean, to be fair, if it was canceled the day of, he was ready.
Yeah.
So I mean, all he's got to do is take a little bit of a break and then kind of go right back into camp mode.
Oh,
But
weight cut sucks.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're going through all that weight.
Because it was canceled after he hit the scale.
Right.
So he made weight and then rehydrated
right.
for the fight. And then it was just like, oh, shit, I'm going to have to cut back down again.
Yeah, that's tough. That is a
So,
tough break.
You'll see what Cowboy has in store. I don't sense retirement on the horizon. Like, I feel like him and Joe were a perfect, like, loser leaves town match.
Yeah.
So I think they'll probably give him someone, especially on short notice,
It definitely
that he can probably beat.
It definitely feels like Cerrone is kind of at whatever stage of fight he's
Yeah,
in. He's going to be fighting for his career.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
much
definitely.
at this stage.
But he can fight. Even if he loses a decision, he should be all right.
Yeah.
Gets brutally knocked out, Dana might tell him, yo,
Might be a
it's
problem.
time. Leave the gloves. Joaquin Buckley.
Hey, that's a W in the win column.
We're
Let's
back on the streak,
go.
baby. I think this is 2-3 in a
All
row.
right, let's
We're on
go.
a streak. And then, but man, impressive. He beat the hell.
That's self-defense training. bro.
Yeah. Woo. Just the eye. Like Albert couldn't see it all.
Nope.
And good on the doctor stopping. Could have been stopped early. So Joaquin wins that one. Kevin Holland, Tim Means in the co-main. Kevin Holland by submission. I mean, I want to meet the gambler who picked that.
Who picked that?
Yeah, and just let me know how much you want. Oh, you know what? Kevin Holland. Yeah. If he stops him. Okay, give me a submission.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
Like, what? So, Kevin Holland, one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC. So it's good to see him kind of look impressive again. Get back on a roll. 2022 has been kind to him after a couple tough losses in 2021, which, to his credit, he was fighting top 5 opponents.
Mm-hmm.
And then now he's kind of came back down, but his win against Oliveira and then Means. And I think welterweight is treating him much better than middleweight because now he's a big welter. And if he can keep making the cut, then it's legit.
Yeah.
And this might be the spot for him to showcase all his tools. And then main event, Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett. I mean, that was one hell of a fight.
They beat the shit out of each other.
25 minutes. Both.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need to name a winner.
They both look the part. When both fighters look the part,
Yeah.
after 25 minutes, you've probably seen a pretty decent fight.
I was like, fuck, I hope somebody gives like one of these a 10-10 round. Like, they should give it a draw.
Yeah.
Like, no one should have lost that fight. But
more
Josh Emmett
rounds
win.
required. Go again.
Yes. Let's run it back. Run it back.
Right now.
This is
Overtime.
this makes me think of like I wish MMA and boxing at times just had encore.
Yeah.
And they just come out and do one more round. That's it.
Break the draw. Break the, it's like hockey has the shootout. We need a shootout in MMA.
That's it.
What do we think?
Yep. Just give them 2 extra minutes. You can only use your left hand. It's like 3-on-3 in hockey.
This is gonna start getting to the point where it's like like you always make up like funny overtime scenarios with these things. So it'd always be like, okay, all right, if you get to a 4th overtime, the coaches now gotta come out and they gotta fight each other now, 1-on-1, mano a mano. Like really like get
That's
creative.
so unfair for anyone who's cornered by Habib.
That's why he's in your corner. That's why you pay the big bucks. You don't know if you're gonna go to overtime.
Nope.
And he'll be.
You'd be like, oh, tag.
I would like to forfeit this fight.
Imagine the other coach is like 145.
He's like,
Like, oh my God.
I didn't sign up for this. You were supposed to fight.
You win. He just gets in and just taps.
doesn't even. There's no contact. You just.
Yep. I'm out of here. It's exactly what I would do if I had to face Habib. Hands down. And then this weekend's fights. Honestly, I feel like they didn't need a fight this weekend. But Umar Nurmagomedov is on this card. And
You see that name.
you see the name, you know there's danger.
Danger is around
And
the
I think
corner.
he's of no relation.
I believe no relation.
And he's like a kickboxer.
which is, you know.
But you're not fooling me. I'm not going to the ground.
I see. My eyes do not deceive.
Nope.
You just sometimes a name is just good enough. That's all you need to
That's
put
all I
some
need.
fear in your heart.
Chris Curtis,
Mm-hmm.
who is going to join us here in a couple minutes, opening up the main card.
The streak going.
Yeah, got to keep the streak going.
Come on.
And he's undefeated since coming to the UFC. So it'd be interesting to talk to him
I like
about
her.
like that journey.
I like our chances.
I do too. I do too. And then Neil Magny is on this card. And again, Neil Magny gets the toughest fights in the UFC. So now he has Rachmanov 15-0. It's just like 27. They're like, oh yeah, it looks like you're going to be a thing here. First 2 UFC fights, submission, knockout. We'll give you Neil Magny.
Feed him.
And Neil loves this because Neil is like the prospect killer. It's just like you got to be real good to beat Neil Magny.
One might, for the equivalent of wrestling, one might call it the bar.
Yes. So.
There it is.
But yeah, so that should be an interesting fight. Give me Rachmanov to win though, but I think it's a decision if I have to pick that one. And then main event. Oh my God, Sarukian versus Gamrot in the main event. Again, is it main event worthy? I don't know. Sarukian was on a ton of cards for 25 and under. Like, I think he ranked like 3rd on ESPN. Like for fighters in UFC, 25 and under. So for him, the main event, I'm not like mad at it. And he's coming in off a couple finishes. I vote violence in the main event, but give me him by knockout. I think this is a showcase for him. He's kind of small even for lightweight division, but I think they put you in the main event. You have to deliver.
And it's a week before International Fight Week, so this is a good spot if you're trying to warm somebody up.
Yep.
I feel like this isn't a spot necessarily for an already main eventer because
You can't be a palate cleanser.
you're saving your ammo for next week.
Yeah. And that's the last thing he wants to do is go in there and be the palate cleanser, go 25 minutes and be boring as hell.
Right.
Like you go in there, you make a statement, and your replay is going to run all the way through International Fight Week.
All week.
All damn week. So that's how I see that going. Like I just mentioned, we have Chris Curtis coming up now. So we're going to hit our last break, come back with a guest. Producer Coale Bay is going to the booth. So
I'm going to run back in
yes.
to my natural habitat.
Appreciate you as always. Chopping it
course.
up with me. Shout out to Dre on his week of relaxation.
And excited to hop back on the mic on Sunday night.
Yes.
When we talk about Forbidden Door.
Ooh,
The Forbidden Door. You feel like you have to say it like it's like a Harry Potter movie or something like that. The Forbidden Door. But really it's just it's just a wrestling term.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Listen, we're going to have some fun on Sunday night.
We are going to have some fun. There's going to be some terrific matches. I'm sure there's going to be some more announced throughout the week. So, stay tuned into your programming for that. But we'll be there to break it down.
Yes, it's going to be good. So don't go anywhere. Chris Curtis on with us right after this. What up, everybody? As promised, closing today's show with a guest, Chris Curtis, UFC middleweight in the building, fresh cut, lined up, looking spectacular for the camera.
Thank you. For the things I do for you guys, man. Like maybe get a haircut and get shaved. So trying to be an adult here.
Look at that. I love it. Man, first and foremost, you're always bringing the action on fight night. Makes you one of the most exciting people to watch, I'd say, that came into the UFC recently, right? But you haven't fought this year. What's going on?
It sucks, man. I got scheduled late, so they scheduled me already late. So it was like originally, it's like okay, whatever, fine. And then I got injured. So it's like, pushed me back. I was fought 6 times last year, and now it's damn near July on my first fight. And it's like, oh, that hurts. That
Yeah,
hurts a
it's
lot,
like
man. So yeah, injuries suck. The worst part of the sport's the injuries. Yeah.
how are you feeling now that you've bounced back from the injury? Do you feel like you're as close to 100% as possible? Do you feel like you got to work out some things in the octagon when you get in there? Is there any cage rust?
I don't. I stay so active, man, and I don't really think I get cage rust. I train 7 days a week. I'm always like sparring hard. I don't really think I get. I don't really think for me cage rust is a thing. Like I would rather have fought 4 times this year, but being back in now, it's fine. I feel good. You're as close to 100% as you can get. Like there's always going to be stuff wrong with you. This is a hard camp, man. I had quite a few injuries pop up this camp, but I'm finally feeling good. Fight week, I feel good. Everything feels solid and stable. So I'll take it, man. I'm just ready to fight. Like it's been way too long.
Came into the UFC. You took fights in back-to-back months, finished both. Like, how hard is it to do that quick turnaround? Because you mentioned it, you fought 6 times that year. Like, is that something where you just feel comfortable doing? Because we don't see people do that very often in this sport.
Well, for me, man, it's not really a big turnaround. Like I said, I train 7 days a week. Like I train every day. And fighting at 185, I don't walk around more than 15 pounds out of my weight class at any really given time. So I'm just, 2 days away from making, actually I made weight last time on 4 hours notice.
Yeah.
So I can always make weight. So I'm always training. I'm always training hard. My camps, some people use camps to get in shape and whatever and lose their weight. But for me, my camps are just kind of fine tuning what I want to work on. But I'm always in shape and able to fight. So for me, I'm a small middleweight, but it affords me the chance to stay busy and stay more active.
You mentioned it. You aren't big for the division. We see guys like Paulo Costa, who's just huge in the division, right? But do you feel like your size gives you advantages where other people may be like, well, why don't you cut down more? You're only 15 pounds, heavier than your division. Why don't you go down to welterweight? Do you feel like being at your natural weight kind of affords you luxuries?
I mean, it really does. At 170, I was never able to fight as often. I could never fight 6 times in a year at 170. At 170, I fought, and then I would need 4 weeks to I go back to the gym right away, but I would need 4 weeks for my body to feel normal again. And one thing, there's occasions I can fight back to back at 170, but it was painful, man. It's really hard for me. And at some point, I'm a small guy for the division, but at the same time, I think I have a cardio advantage against most people. I think at 70, I had a cardio advantage against most people, but at 85, I definitely do. But the trade-off for that is I'm giving up some height and some size. So, Rodolfo's a big dude. He's a really, really big guy. So I think, Phil Hall is a big guy too. So I think this Saturday, we'll have that first real test to where there's going to be a lot of attempted grappling and wrestling. And we'll have my first test to see how I feel at 185. So it's interesting for me to see. So we get in there and win, lose, or draw. If I'm just I'm just too fucking small for this. We'll rethink going back down to 70. But for now, my quality of life is way better at 85. I don't hate my life. I'm not miserable to be around. So I can eat food. So I would like to stay here for as long as possible, even if the fights are a little bit scarier.
Preparing for Vieira this weekend, you mentioned, okay, there's going to be grappling exchanges, wrestling in there. Is there any part of your camp where you have to really switch up to prepare for someone like this? You said you're in the gym every day, but is it a little harder to prepare for someone who's bringing this skill set compared to we're going to stand and bang?
No, so pretty much all my camps are really close to being the same. Is stuff the takedown and force them into a fight they don't want. And this is just the apex of that strategy, to where stuff the takedown, wear them out, make him fight a fight he doesn't want. The entire game plan, so it's the easy game plan, redline him, make him work harder than he wants to, stuff the takedowns, and drag him into deeper waters. But that's my strategy for every fight. We don't really, with stand-up fights, we're just like, okay, cool. If I fight another stand-up guy, we're just like, oh, shoot, we don't get that a whole lot. Like, go
Yeah.
have fun. Mini camp's more fun. But my normal camp is like force bad shots, stuff takedowns, create scrambles, return to your feet, make them fight. So, we've worked in a couple positions more than we usually would, but overall, it's been the exact same type of camp that I've had for the last 13 years for the most part. 15 years is just make them fight a stand-up fight, make them fight in deep waters.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot because, again, you fought at 170 before. You're at 185 now. Which champion is more beatable? Usman at 170 or Stylebender at 185?
I would go Stylebender. I would definitely go Stylebender. I think Usman is just a nightmare fighter for a lot of people, just because. I mean, he's a much better version of Tyron Woodley, which was already a problem. But the issue is like Usman's striking has gotten better, but when someone has that much of a wrestling advantage, it makes guys panic. So now you got guys, even Masvidal is a better striker who got knocked out because you're so worried about getting taken down that, you leave your hands low to fight takedowns, do other stuff. And then Usman apparently learned to hit like a train. So I would go Usman. I mean, I think Izzy's a beast, don't get me wrong, but I think like once the top of 85 isn't really super wrestling heavy, so it kind of works in his favor. There are some wrestlers sprinkled in there, but you got guys like, he beat up Brunson, which works.
Yeah.
But I just think style-wise, Usman's a nightmare matchup for guys like that. People don't like fighting that grinding fight, man. Usman's the king of the grinder, so I would go Usman.
Being a smaller guy in the division, would you see like Usman and be like, yeah, that guy can kind of come up here and make noise too?
I've been around it. Usman is big. You guys realize how big Kamaru Usman is? Like, I look at him sometimes, like, bro, like, every time you see him, he's like slowly exploding out of whatever he's wearing. Like, he's a big dude. Like, he's a very big man. Like the fact that he makes 170 is interesting to me. Like, he's a big fucking dude. I think there's a lot of dudes he could like ragdoll at 85. I think there's a lot of 85 he could ragdoll easily, like hands down. Like, that's a big fucking dude.
For you, 85, you're climbing your way up. Is there like a checklist you have in your head? Like you want to fight often, but are there some names in this division where you're like, man, I want to fight this person? Like whether it's just for stylistically, like, oh, we'll get in there and we're going to have some fun in the octagon, or just for the sake of working your way up. Do you have like this in mind already?
So I'm that guy. Everybody's like, climb the rankings. I'm like, look, man, the top of 85 is like a murderer's row. So I'm totally fine going backwards and beating up people behind me. And there's a wide list of people that I want to fight who are near me or behind me. Like the Dricus Duplessis fight, I really wanted. I thought we'd have a great fight. I thought stylistically it'd be a fun fight. I have a message him like, bro, I think this is a fight we bonus on easily. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So that would have been a fun fight. I want to breed up Brian Battle, but that's personally. That's a personal issue of mine. Brian Battle did nothing wrong, mind you. But I just don't like Brian Battle. He did nothing wrong to me. I just don't like Brian Battle because of Tough. I got passed over for Tough again. And then they have like a season of Tough, and he wins it. And I'm like, I feel like I could have killed all of you. So nothing personal against Brian Battle. Everybody's like, he's a great guy, but I have a bone to pick with the Tough announcers. I got to go through him to do that. So like, fine, whatever. Whoever picked people for Tough can blame this. But like, I've got like really one-sided beef with Brian Battle. He's gonna see this. Like, what the fuck did I do to you?
What I do
Like,
to this guy?
everybody's like, he's a great guy, but I don't care. I should have been the Ultimate Fighter. So yeah, there's that. That pisses me off. I wanted to fight Dusko because he beat my buddy Maki. So I was like, I got like eyes on you, Dusko. Like, yeah, I fucking see you. And then I wanted to fight Joseph Holmes because I'm really petty and he beat my friend Allen. So like, I want to beat up Joseph Holmes.
You're coming for revenge, and they don't even know it right now.
It's my revengeance tour, man. Like, it's the revengeance tour. Like, yeah.
Nah, gotta love it. Thank you so much for taking time out. Busy fight week, for joining us, man. Best of luck on Saturday. Can't wait to watch. Always exciting. Appreciate you so much. Everyone, Chris Curtis in the building. Amazing guy. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Anytime. Well, Chris Curtis on the revenge tour. It's man, amazing to watch this man fight.
What did I do to you?
Amazing to watch this man fight. It is going to be action packed on Saturday. We appreciate everyone for listening to this episode. Make sure you guys follow us on social media at Corner Podcast _ on Twitter, at Corner Club for Life on Instagram. Check out our YouTube, The Corner Podcast. Thank you, producer Coale, Bay, for chopping it up with me today, talking boxing, MMA. Nasty Nestor in the booth. Thank you for holding it down as well. Everyone here at Blue Wire Studios in the Ruin Resort in Las Vegas. You guys be safe. Have fun. Get ready for a crazy week next week of pro wrestling. Tons of people in the building. WWE is here in town. Money in the Bank. So we got some surprises for you. So it's going to be fun. Until our next show, we're out.